Hey guys, I know that I've mentioned before, and maybe you forgot that I'm really heavy within the community when it comes to the children. So I have the luxury of going out to some of the middle schools, high schools, 3 to 5 times a month, and I get a chance to just conversate with them, discussing about the importance of staying away from drug activity, gangs, and also talk to them about college preparation. um, what do they think about doing next? What's on their agenda? What do they feel that they can accomplish? What do they want to do when they grow up? It is not too early for them to start thinking about that, right? So, this coming week, I'm going to be discussing interviewing techniques, how to prepare, communicate, and succeed. And I got to thinking, well, guess what? There might be someone out in YouTube land who's thinking about a new job. And it's great if you're thinking about it, but guess what? Execute it. Execute it so you can start preparing now because it's really important to start preparing for the interview. Someone you trust, have that person do a mock interview with you so you can start preparing yourself and understand that interviews help employers learn who you are beyond your resume. Yes, you can walk in with your resume, but they want to really know who are you outside of the paper. Can you convey that to them? Talk to them about your work history. Talk to them about some of your accomplishments. Talk to them about some of your next steps. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? You know that question is it always comes up. It never fades. It never fails to come up. Another question that comes up is, tell me your strengths and tell me your weakness. I have sat on the other side. So I have listened to those coming in wanting a job. And when that question comes up, I've had many people come in and say, I don't have any weaknesses. Guess what happens? You get marked lower because everyone has a weakness. You got to learn how to switch it up. You got to learn how to switch it up. I know when I first started interviewing, I thought that would be a bad thing to tell someone what my weakness was. But no, it depends on how you twist it up. I started using delegation as an example. I had a problem delegating work out because I felt like I needed to handle it from the beginning to the end. But I had to learn that I can be more efficient when I learn how to delegate the work. And also that says that I trust my peers. I trust other people on the team, that I'm not the only one who can do the job. You got to show yourself as a trusted team member, that you don't have to hoard all the work. No, let that work be evenly distributed. Let it be evenly distributed. You do not have to hold it all together. So by using that as an example, as a weakness, that's a plus. It's a win-win. What are your strengths? Is communication a strength? Can you convey your message? Are you good at writing? Are you good at team activities? Are you flexible? Are you easy to adapt to change? Do you welcome in those changes that happens within the organization? Because one thing about organizations, they are constantly changing, and you're going to get left behind if you just stagnant. You're not open. They're going to move forward with or without you. So you might as well make your mind up to stay in the game so you can continue to get your coins. Yes, I said that. Yes. Yeah. So they want to know who you are beyond your resume. Employers evaluate communication, attitude, and if you're reliable. Were you on time for the job interview, or did you walk in 10, 15 minutes late? That's another no-no. It's a no-no. Preparation increases confidence and success. Prepare for your interview. Don't just show up willy-nilly. Think about what they may ask you. You may not know what they're going to ask, but you can just start thinking about, okay, my last 6 months of working, my last year, what are some of the things I worked on? And it doesn't have to be specifically tied to the position that you are applying for. as long as it meets the criteria. And I tell people all the time, don't let your answers be too long. Sometimes people can go into these 15-minute rants. Answer the question and move on. And as you're answering the question, pause. Pause a little and then continue to express yourself. Don't let your answers be too short. You want it to be just right. You'll feel that flow. Be confident and make yourself comfortable. Smile. Don't be so tense. Go in and relax. Relax. So that really matters. You want to set the stage. Prepare before the interview. Research the company or organization. Review the job description. Practice answering common questions. Prepare questions to ask the employer. They're being interviewed as well. You're bringing something to the table. Don't you want to know what they have to offer? Is there opportunity for growth within this role? How often do people leave the team? How long has people been on the team? What do you project for the upcoming year? What are some of the goals? How do you guys interact as a team? Ask what you want to know. Do you offer tuition reimbursement? What are the benefits like? It's okay. It really is. And some people be like, no, I'm not going to ask those kind of questions. I'm just going to play it safe because I'm so desperate. Don't come in desperate. Don't come in desperate. You are valuable. They selected you for a reason. They saw something on your resume, and maybe you did a phone interview, and they were like, I want to know more about this person. So feel comfortable. You were selected for a reason. You really were. First impressions. Arrive early, 10 to 15 minutes. Dress neatly and appropriately. We're adults. We know what to wear. We know how to groom ourselves. We know how to look professional. Bring your A game. You're not the only one that they're looking at. Offer a confident greeting. They say the handshake. Let it be firm. How are you? Speak. Smile. Don't overdo it. Keep it together. Be poised. You know exactly what I'm talking about. First impressions. Dress neatly and professionally. Wear clean, wrinkle-free clothing. I'm kind of giggling, the fact that you have to tell people to do this. You would be shocked at people who come to interviews wrinkled up. Hair hasn't been brushed. It's like they just rolled out of bed and they just came right on into the interview. And I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing today. First impressions, it really matters. Make natural eye contact. Don't be looking to the side when they're asking you a question. Give it to them direct. Sit or stand with good posture. Sit up. Avoid looking at your phone or fidgeting. First of all, turn your phone off. Leave your phone in the car. Why do you need to take your phone inside? Why? What is the purpose of that? Nobody's going to be calling you, right? Leave that cell phone right where it's at. Because it can be a distraction. It really can. It can be a distraction. Maybe you want to, again, have someone to do mock interviews with you. Mock interviews. And see how you respond to the questions. What is that rhythm? What is that flow? How are you feeling as you're going through the interview process? Preparing yourself. That's all you're doing. You are just preparing yourself. Communication during the interview. Listen carefully to the question. And it is really okay for you to say, can you repeat that again? Can I come back to that? It doesn't look bad if you ask to come back to the question. When I'm interviewing people, I have actually said, we can come back. I'm trying to make that candidate as comfortable as possible because I know what it feels to be on the other side. I know exactly how that feels. So I'm going to try to make that person feel as comfortable as I can. Speak clearly and confidently. Clearly and confidently. Don't be in a rush. Take your time. Provide specific examples. This is the area where people get caught up at. Tell me about a time when you felt rushed and you did not meet a deliverable. Tell me about a time when you felt rushed and you did not meet a deliverable. And it never fails. Someone will come in and say something like, "Oh, I had a assignment due and I just didn't make it." Tell me more. What do you mean you didn't make it? Why didn't you make it? What was the holdup? Tell me about a time you felt rushed and you didn't meet a deliverable. I had a deliverable that was due on January the 15th, and I had already started working the assignment, but I needed more information from another team, and I sent that information over there, and they have been pending it for the last 15 days. And when I asked for an update, they're telling me that they are waiting for another response. So because of their delay, that had me not to meet my deliverable. It wasn't really because of me, it was because of the delay from the other department. So you want to be as specific as you can. You always want to be specific. Tell me about a time. Tell me about a time. How did you get from point A to point B? Tell me about a time when you accomplished a task and how did that make you feel? Tell me about a time when someone bragged on you. This is your opportunity to just drive it in. This is your opportunity to let them know, "Oh, I'm serious about what I do." Game face on. Game face on. Avoid interrupting. Avoid interrupting. Allow the interviewer to speak. So common interview questions. Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths? I already mentioned that one. Describe a challenge you overcame. What is that? Why do you want this job? Why do you want this job? What is it about this job that you want? Why? Why do you want this job? I did my research and I really understand the dynamics of this company. I really like how it operates, and I really can see myself working here for a long period of time. I reviewed your mission statement, and I like the way that you guys are going down the path you're taking with this organization, and I really believe that I can be a key player. I've noticed that you have 3 different departments that I'm really interested in going in. I think I would really do well in the marketing arena. I'm also open to going over to the communication department as well as the legal. So I really can see myself being here and moving from one area to another. People like to know that you've done some type of homework. And it doesn't have to be just the way I said it. I'm just talking out the tip of my tongue here, but think about some of the questions they're going to ask. YouTube is the perfect place for you to go and get interview questions. It really is. Using the STAR method. Situation, describe the situation. Task, explain your responsibility. Action, what you did. Action, what you did. Result, what was the outcome. So I love this STAR method. Situation, describe the situation. Task, explain your responsibility. Action, what you did. Result, what was the outcome. What was the outcome? And you're going to be just fine. Questions you can ask the employer. What does success look like in this role? Tell me more about this. What does a typical day look like? What opportunities are there to learn new skills? You want to show them that you're open to being developed. You want development opportunities. You just don't want to come in and sit in the same role over for years and years and years. Unless it's, now let me back up from that, because sometimes your role can grow. If you're constantly growing in that role, it's okay. But you still want to be having that conversation about development. You want to show them that you are open to growing. You're open to growing. Body language tips. Sit up straight. Maintain natural eye contact. And we talked about leaving that phone in the car, right? So after the interview, follow up. Thank the interviewer for their time. Send a follow up thank you message if possible. Reflect on what went well and what to improve. Guys, you're in this for the win. You are in this for the win, and you can do it if you prepare. Now, some folks are saying, I don't need to prepare. If you feel like you're that good at it, go for it. But my advice is to prepare. Prepare so you can receive that congratulations letter. All right, guys, take care.